welcome back to my channel. Today you join me from a Mercedes C-Class 180 AMG Sport. So I suppose this car is an entry-level C-Class for, I would say, like a young driver almost. So the 180 has got a 1.6 litre turbocharged engine, producing about 160 horsepower and 290 newton meters of torque. You probably think it's not a great amount, but actually, you know, for a young driver, it's probably a decent amount. It's enough, you know, for a first car. Obviously, these are probably a bit pricey for a first car as such, but nowadays, you know, I see people driving around in brand spanking new cars, etc. And it just makes you think, you know, how do they afford it, etc. So, you know, the money's obviously coming from somewhere. So there you go. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so I'd class as an entry-level Mercedes C-Class as such. This has got the AMG styling kit, which is really nice. So if you were to see it on the road, it's got some lovely sort of AMG 18-inch alloy wheels. It's got like a subtle body kit on it, which makes it look quite aggressive and obviously reminiscent of the actual C63 AMG almost. So it's got quite a lot of road presence to look at. This one has got the auto box with paddle shifters. It's also got a sports and economy mode, so you can obviously sit between different modes, etc. So usually, like I said, on most cars, the sports mode tends to hold on to the gears a bit more. I haven't really had a chance much to drive it at all yet, so this is literally the first drive for me. So first drive, first impressions, etc. My first impressions, seat position is really good actually. You sit quite low, you know, you feel quite connected to the car as such. Seats are really nice. They've got this lovely leather and sort of Alcantara feel to them, as you can see in the back there. But yeah, really nice. The cockpit is obviously Mercedes, so you usually accept a sort of premium feel to everything. Everything's aluminium or leather. Really nice. This has got the sat nav as well. It's got the full works. It's got rear reversing camera as well. You know, when you think about it, if this was like an entry level car, it's a very high spec entry level C-Class. Okay, you know, it's got a 1.6 turbo engine, but actually, like I said, it's enough amount of power. You know, it's not overbearing and it's not, you know, too slow either. So you get the best of both worlds. This car actually does 40 miles per gallon on average, which is really good. Mercedes claim a bit more, but actually, you know, if you were to drive a mixture of driving, I would say it's more of a 40 average, not like a 50. So yeah, pretty appealing so far. Steering, I would say, in normal mode is a bit slack. It's not great. However, I've got it in the sports set at the moment, and it's actually quite good. It's quite responsive. You know, you turn the wheel and the car turns almost. So yeah, pretty good. Yeah, steering wheel obviously is adjustable as usual on most cars, etc. Paddle shifters are quite nice feel to them, even though they're plastic, they don't tend to make that plasticky sound that you get with like the BMWs. They're very responsive, the gearbox is very good. It engages quite fast into the gears. So let's go back to the styling wise on the outside. So like I said, it is reminiscent of a C63 AMG to look at. Obviously the subtle differences are obviously the quad pipes on the back that you would get on the C63, the bulge on the bonnet, sort of alloy wheels, etc. The various bits and bobs, and obviously the engine as well. But yeah, so it's a nice, you know, if you think about it, if it's your first car or even your second car or something, it's a very nice looking car, and it wouldn't take much to actually make it look like a C63 if you wanted to. You know, there's aftermarket parts out there which you can get, you know, diffuser for the back for exhaust and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so you can make it look, you know, the real deal without having to worry about the expense of spending on a C63, etc. It's got auto lights, auto wipers, you name it, it's probably got it. Top of my head, I don't know the full list of specs, I'm just basing it off what I've noticed so far, etc. But yeah, it's a fairly high spec car from what I've seen so far. Considering this car is a coupe, visibility is actually really good. The mirrors are massive, so you get to see quite a lot out of them, etc. Again, on the back, pretty good. And obviously, because you've got the reversing camera anyway, you don't really need to worry too much about that. Okay, so I've got a bit of space between me and the car in front now, so I'm going to drop it down a few gears, see what happens. Yeah, it's quite cool actually, quite throaty. Bit of a, you know, it's a 1.6, so the exhaust note is not incredible, but actually it's not bad. You know, it's a bit of fun. You can sort of just about hear it maybe. Like I said, gearbox is really good. instant gear change, handles fairly well. Ride quality, it's a bit on the bumpy side, but actually it's fairly comfortable considering. You know, like I said, it's not meant to be a sports coupe as such. It's just meant to have the looks more than anything else. But yeah, like I said, it handles really well. You know, at the end of the day, it's British roads. You don't want something that crashes over everything because of the suspension is terrible, basically. I think you get the best of both worlds. Drop down the gear. Yeah, you do get fairly instant torque as well, which is good. There's no worries if you had to sort of overtake anyone or anything like that, which is nice to know. You know, I've been in sort of Ford Focuses with sort of 1 litre EcoBoost engine, and they're absolutely awful to drive. Like, I'd say they're dangerous almost. Even if you're trying to overtake someone, and it's so dangerous, it's unbelievable. You have to basically drop down to third to get past someone on the motorway doing like 60. It's just stupid. I also forgot to mention, obviously this is rear wheel drive, so like I said, okay, the premiums might be a bit high if you're a first time driver, but if you're a young driver and you've driven a few front wheel drive cars and you want to go on to something a bit more sort of sporty or a bit more of a driver's car almost, you can probably start something fairly low power rear wheel drive. So yeah, this is rear wheel drive, so yeah, really, you know, it shifts, definitely shifts. It's not slow. Roads are nice and quiet now, which is good. Yeah, it goes alright. You know, like I said, it's not going to overpower. You know, it's not extremely powerful, etc. I do have to take it quite easy, though. The roads are greasy today. It's been raining overnight, so the roads are quite wet, and it is quite cold as well. So I'm not going to be throwing around corners or anything. But actually, yeah, it shifts. Definitely shifts. Yeah. Quite impressed actually. It's alright. Good fun on a windy road like this. One quirky thing I've noticed is the handbrake. Very, very odd. I've never seen anything like it before. It took me a while to actually figure it out. So basically there's like so obviously it's an automatic car, so I got in and I was like, hang on, there's 3 pedals. What's that one for? This is weird. So there's a pedal basically on the inside, so on the left hand side basically, a little small pedal, and that is the handbrake basically. So when you've stopped, you engage the handbrake by just pushing the pedal down and it sort of clicks, and that's it. It's bizarre and I didn't really get it, and obviously when I started driving it I was like, okay, it's telling me the handbrake's on, so where's the handbrake? Yeah, so it took me a while to work out, but yeah, there's basically a lever to my right, which you pull and it disengages the handbrake when you don't want it anymore. So yeah, so that's quite a cool little feature. Very quirky. You don't see that on many cars, if any, if I want to say. So anyway, if you've enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and in the meantime also if you could subscribe, that would be massively appreciated. Yeah, if you could subscribe and click the bell icon, that will notify you when there's a new video being uploaded. Well, again, massive thank you to Road Cars as well for lending me the car for an hour or so to be able to do this review, or you know, we call them reviews, but they're not. I wouldn't call them reviews myself because they're not sort of in depth. I don't go through all the specs, etc. I just find you can find all that information online, etc. It's more of just a first thoughts on the car, I would say. Yeah, first impressions, etc. That's what I would call it. But anyway, yeah. So if you're interested in this car is for sale on their website. I'll put a link in the description below. So you could make sure to go check them out. And as usual, I will see you guys very soon for the next one. See you guys later. Cheers. Bye.